buenas tardes, fortuneras y fortunatos. Bueno, aquí estamos para ver cómo sigue esta historia, pero antes de continuar con el juego, tengo que recordarles algo.
Denle like a este video, comenten, suscríbanse a mi canal, compártanlo, activen la campanita de notificaciones. Si se sienten millonarios, pueden hacerme llegar alguna ayudita mediante los links de Mercado Pago y cafecito que hay en la descripción del video. Y si quieren contar con contenido exclusivo, pueden hacerse miembros de mi canal.
Una vez recordado esto, ¡vamos al juego!
They were keeping their distance, but I managed to briefly catch sight of the dwarf who was following me.
Buah, veo que nos sigue siguiendo el Calino. A ver, ¿qué tenemos que hacer acá? La entrada cerrada, que nos decía la
I
entrada.
couldn't pull the boards off with my hands.
¡Ah! No nos puede... No, con las manos no podemos. Ajá. O sea, con nuestra amiga la palanqueta. Muy bien. ¿Ahora qué osas?
I don't know what the last thing cooked here was, but it seemed to have been prepared recently.
Bien, a ver.
The fish bar was full of cooking pots.
De acuerdo.
Only to be expected, I guess.
A ver, volvámonos lobos.
There was a disturbing dark magenta scent in the fish bar, something that resonated with cosmic evil. It scared me.
Buah.
It scared me that anything could have such a disturbing scent. It scared me that I could tell what color cosmic evil was.
Bueno, tengo que decir que estoy mal acostumbrado. Primero tengo que apretar con un botón y después con el otro. Por eso, a veces las observaciones de Newton, primero opina sobre una cosa y después parece que la ha descubierto recién, cuando en realidad tendría que ser al revés. Bueno, basura.
Amongst the debris, I found a bone that seemed a little out of place.
Ah,
The fish bar was
bueno,
littered with assorted
otro ejemplo.
debris.
Para el hueso.
The bone seemed out of place somehow. I
Bueno,
wasn't sure why. I knew there was something familiar about the bone. It was a human femur. Just like in Titus Diplodocus, someone had been dismembered and eaten. That meant there was only the wizard's presence to go, and the octagram would be complete.
de acuerdo, entonces tenemos que ir al jardín.
I doubled back on myself, trying to get a good look at the dwarf who was following me. It was Al-Kali. I slipped away into the streets before he realized I'd spotted him.
El perro.
I thought about petting the dog, but there was something about the way he looked that made me think twice, maybe even 3 times about it.
No, a ver.
I didn't want to transform in such an exposed area.
Ah, ta.
I didn't know how long I'd have to wait until something happened, but it turned out to be less than I thought. I'd suspected I'd been being followed, and I wasn't surprised to find that Al-Kali was skulking around behind me. Gods alone knows how he got into the university, but if I could do it, I guess anyone could.
Ah, oh,
It was over in seconds. I was about to follow the killer's trail when I saw a familiar face.
ah, Carlota.
Why did you carry on with the case, Luton?
Too many people told me to stop.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. I like you, Luton. It didn't have to be this way.
So you're behind this, are you?
I'm just a servant. My master, Anu, is behind this.
That beast is Mooncalf's god.
Mooncalf didn't start this cult. I did. When the last human worshippers of Anu had passed on, leaving only an empty temple in their wake, the cult lived on among the lycanthropes. My late husband got me involved, and I came back to Ankh-Morpork to arrange everything.
Came back?
I thought you'd realize, Luton. I'm Therma.
It figures. You killed Malachite, didn't you?
I didn't kill any of them. My master did that. We just arranged everything for him. He's stronger when we gather together and pray.
You were in the Temple of Small Gods each time there was
It was a perfect alibi.
Why was Malachite looking for you?
I'm his sister.
His sister?
¿Qué?
Hands up who can spot the big problem here.
I was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Karst. They named me Therma. And Malachite and I grew up together.
What happened?
¿Qué?
It's a tough life when you're a poor troll. And tougher still when you weren't born at
¡Qué raro!
I used to sit at the table eating bread, while the rest of the family was chewing cold sandwiches. That kind of thing leaves its mark on a girl.
My heart bleeds for you.
Malachite and I broke into the von Uberwald mansion and made off with some of the Count's valuables, including that pendant you've been carrying around.
And that jeweled box in the carriage that presumably held the asp that poisoned Reagan.
That's right.
How did you and Malachite get separated?
He got caught, but he didn't tell the watch about me. I thought I'd seen the last of him. I sold most of what I got, and I was living off it comfortably. But I'd seen that painting in the hallway, and it got me thinking.
The painting that looks like you.
Exactly. I reinvented myself as a debutante, and I seduced Ulrich and married into high society. I went back to Uberwald with him, changed my name to Carlotta, and my life as a troll was forgotten. Therma was dead. Long live Carlotta von Uberwald.
Did you know Ulrich was a werewolf?
Not until the honeymoon. That was a surprise, I can tell you. Not entirely an unpleasant one, I have to say.
How did you get involved in this cult business?
Before he died, Ulrich inducted me into the worship of Anu, and it became my mission to engineer his return to power. I recruited followers and we prayed to him, gradually awakening his consciousness. He'd been stuck in the form of
El perro ese.
on the streets of Al-Khali for decades, not even remembering who he was. As our numbers grew, Anu's power grew, and eventually he was able to slip aboard a ship and steal his way here to Ankh-Morpork.
The Milka.
That's right. The Milka also stopped off at Sort, where it picked up Mundi. He was supposed to be bringing us the Sortese falchion, having stolen it from a dig at Sorta. The archaeologists didn't even know it was there. Unfortunately, what we hadn't counted on was that Mundi was a man with few scruples and even less brains to go with it. Either he approached Horst, or Horst approached him. One way or another, he arranged to sell the sword to that devious troll.
¿Y para qué le cuenta
He didn't
todo?
have the sword, did he? He'd concealed it in one of the crates in the cargo hold.
We didn't know that. We just knew that Mundi had gone to ground. That's why I hired you to find him.
And when I did, your cult killed him. Only you'd expected the sword to be with him. And by the time he was dead, it was too late to ask him where he'd put it.
We couldn't believe our luck when you found the sword for us after Mundi's death. I'm sorry that my master had to stab you to get it.
Did you know I was going to get killed? Was that why you made me into a werewolf?
I suspected that things would get a little rough for you, and I believed you were too valuable an asset to waste.
I'm flattered. And the counterweight killings were your cult attempting to summon Nylanathatep by mimicking the way he was summoned before. I don't get it.
With the falchion, my master can defeat the laddering horror again, and he will grow in power, ascending to the ranks of the most powerful gods, where he belongs.
That's all very well, but a lot of people died for that dream. You can't just go around killing people whenever the mission strikes you. It's not polite.
What are the lives of a few people against the prize?
Reagan knew, didn't he? Or at least suspected.
I don't know what he actually knew. but he suspected a lot. He'd been blackmailing me for weeks.
Ah.
He had to go.
Why are you telling me all this?
It's customary for the villain to explain his evil schemes when the hero is captured.
I'm no hero, and you're no villain either. We're just people.
You know it's not too late, Luton. Join us.
Join your cult. What happens if I refuse?
There's no point in refusing. It's already too late to stop the summoning of Nylonathotep. Al-Khali was the 8th murder. Even now, the other cultists are gathering at the focal point for the invocation.
That would be the temple under the Disc Theater, I take it.
You're good. I'll give you that. Let's go, or we'll miss the pre-summon.
What if I try to stop you?
Like I said, it's already too late for that. Join us, Luton. You know it's the only choice.
I could kill you and make a run for it.
You wouldn't hurt me, would you, Luton? After all we've been through.
You arranged the murder of your own brother, and you'd have me killed too if I got in the way.
So what? In this world, you get one chance at happiness.
You may be right. All right. I'll go along with this for now. But I'm not making any promises for the future.
That's good enough for me.
Carlotta told me she would have to bind me in case I got any foolish ideas, and then she escorted me into the depths of the temple. It looked like the whole crowd was there. As well as Carlotta, I recognized the Orb, the wizard from Saturnalia. 8 of them in all. 1 for each person on the list. But my attention was drawn to the hulking mass of Anu Anu, and the golden sword that he was wielding like it was a toothpick.
It begins.
Take your places, people. Everyone remember your lines.
Nylonathotep, who summoned thee. In accordance with the ancient pacts, we have made 8 sacrifices in the manner prescribed. Come to us.
I was filled with an overwhelming sensation of dread. I guess summoning rituals have that effect on me.
It is here. Now I command you by the power of the fashion.
Va a pasar algo mal.
Bend to my will, I command thee. I hold the fashion. You will obey me.
I got the impression that that wasn't supposed to happen. The next thing I knew, the temple was coming apart at the seams, and rocks were falling everywhere. I don't know what was wrong, but it seemed as if Anu Anu couldn't control the unspeakable force of cosmic horror that he had unleashed, and now it was loose in the city, as if my day wasn't bad enough already.
Acto 4, bien.
After the rubble had settled, I pulled myself out from under it and had a look around. The temple seemed different somehow, and not just because the roof had caved in. Anu Anu was lying in a crumpled heap on the other side of the chamber, and Carlotta was tending to his wounds. The rest of the cult had made their getaway. Everyone but Warb, whose luck had taken a permanent turn for the worse.
Bien, Warb, hola Warb.
The only thing of interest on Warb's body was the charm bracelet, and I didn't want to take that back. It looked as if part of the ceiling had rearranged most of Warb's head. Come on, Carlotta, let's get out of here before the rest of the roof comes down.
I'm not leaving my master.
He's not going to make it. You can at least save yourself.
Leave us, Luton. Leave!
I tried to listen in to what Anu Anu was saying, but his voice was weak and faltering.
I should have known. The inscription. I forgot the inscription.
Quiet, master. Conserve your strength.
For a god, Anu Anu was looking in a bad way.
Bueno, ahora que veo acá. A ver, escombros.
Sometimes I wondered if these ancient temples were designed to fall in on themselves at dramatic moments. I searched the rubble and uncovered the golden falchion. The sword was bad luck, but I had a feeling it was safer in my hands than anyone else's.
Bien, de acuerdo. A ver. Una inscripción, a ver.
It seemed to say, Quadnescient eos interficit. I didn't know what it meant. Quad meant what, but that was all I knew.
Bueno. ¡Apa! ¡Com!
Broke my stupid leg when the roof came in.
Which one are you?
What?
You must be Coom.
How did you know that?
I recognize your voice. Now give me one good reason why I shouldn't turn you over to the watch.
Please, don't. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. It was just a little fun, you know? Secret meetings and plots for world domination. I mean, it's intoxicating.
Well, now it's blown up in your face, and at least one member of your cult is dead.
Who was it?
Warb. He had a disagreement with a large block of stone.
I don't want to do. I'm terrified. I suspect that some of the cultists might have wanted us to fail.
Really? Why?
I don't know. Just a hunch. Please don't turn me over to the watch. I didn't do anything wrong.
8 people died because of your cult.
I know. I'm sorry. I should never have got involved.
Where have the others gone?
I don't know. Back to the sanctuary, I guess. They didn't really tell me much. I was only the novice.
Maybe I was getting soft in my old age, but I couldn't escape the feeling that the poor fool was just a victim of peer pressure. I guess he just wanted to belong to something, and he didn't much care what. I sympathized, in my own way. Get going. I don't ever want to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret this.
I'd better not.
Bueno, a ver. Desapareció el actor, así que vámonos. ¡Uy! ¡Qué lindo que está todo ahora! Muy lindo. A ver, ¿para dónde vamos ahora? A ver qué...
The Temple of Small Gods seemed deserted when I returned there. I could hear mad laughter echoing inside. Mooncalf? Is that you?
Leave this place. Begone. All are cursed. All will be destroyed.
It was Mooncalf, all right. What happened, Mooncalf?
Mother was right. I should have become a tax collector. It's good money, Mooncalf, she said. Better than you learn with that cult foolishness. You've got to provide for your future. Now look at me. I have no future.
None of us have a future unless we can stop Nylon Athatep.
Ah! Don't say that name. Don't say that name.
After the summoning, the words Quadnescient Eos Interficit appeared on the walls. What does that mean to you?
No. No, it didn't. That temple doesn't exist. It never happened.
Yes it did.
No! No, it didn't! It never happened!
How can I stop Nylon Athatep?
Ah! No! Ah! Don't mention that name!
Okay. Let's try a different approach.
Bueno, entonces nos vamos.
I decided I'd better come back later when Mooncalf was slightly less psychotic.
Ah, pero no está... ¿Malaclipse? ¿Dónde voy ahora? A ver. Y es que todo sigue tranquilo. Bueno, nos vamos de acá porque no hay nada. Santuario.
I don't know exactly what I hoped to learn from the sanctuary, but I went anyway. Maybe I was hoping that all the cultists would be as easily intimidated as Coom. I was wrong.
You're very sharp, Mr. Luton. You've done a very sharp thing. Maybe even sharp enough to cut your own throat.
You must be Kondo.
I'm flattered. How did you know?
I recognize your voice. You tried to kill me with that crossbow once before.
It's silver-tipped before you get any heroic ideas. The Dark Sect isn't as sloppy as the cult of Anu.
A cult within a cult.
We couldn't believe our luck. Mooncarve and Thurner were looking for people to join their cult, and they actually wanted to summon Nihilonethotep. Can you believe that? Do you have any idea how rare it is that someone wants to summon the laddering horror for anything other than wreaking havoc and destruction?
Who's we?
Oh no, it's not that easy. Do you think I'm the overconfident villain that reveals his whole plot to the hero shortly before placing you in an overly complex life or death situation that you then escape from at the last minute?
It might make life easier if you were.
Real life isn't like the clickies, Luton. The good guys don't always win.
What makes you think I'm the good guy?
I don't care what side you're on, Luton. All I care about is that we are victorious and that everything is destroyed.
I just don't understand why anyone would want to destroy the whole of creation. If you want to die, why not just kill yourself?
I'm going to achieve something with my life, Luton. Something that no one will ever forget.
Everyone's going to be dead. No one is going to remember anything.
And that's an achievement no one else can claim.
You're insane.
That's what my psychiatrist said. I had to kill him too. He knew too much, just like you.
Some people say that when you're about to die, your life flashes before your eyes. For me, the world seemed to go into slow motion.
I told you, Luton, the good guys don't always win.
Very true, but they try much harder.
I'm dead, aren't I? Am I going to spend eternity suffering in the pits of hell for what I've done?
If that's what you want.
Oh, I can't believe I'm not going to find out how all this ends. After all the work I put into it.
It's never fun being taken off a project you've worked hard on.
That's the last time I get so involved in my work.
How right you are.
When I came to, I wasn't sure if I was dead or alive. That seemed to be happening to me a lot.
Hello again.
Have you come for me?
No. I was just passing through and I thought it would be polite to say hello. Isn't that what you're supposed to do with acquaintances?
If you want to scare them to death.
Sorry. I'm not good in social situations.
It must be hard to fit in when you're a 7-foot-tall skeleton with a scythe.
I'll see you later.
That doesn't fill me with confidence.
That, I'm afraid, is your problem.
Bien. A ver.
I'd killed Kondo, but at least he hadn't killed me. On Kondo's body was an amulet. It had to be worth finding out what it was, so I took it.
Bueno, sáquete la muerte acá por ir a la mansión von Uberland.
When I went back to the mansion, the butler had some grim news for me. The Count had shuffled off his mortal coil in the recent disc quake. He was sleeping the big sleep, pushing up daisies, crossing the final frontier, booking a vacation to the underworld. Basically, he was dead. Fortunately, he'd left provisions for me in his will. He'd pay my way to the end of the case, and more importantly, he was allowing me to continue to use the library. Well, what did it matter to him who used the library now he was gone? When you're dead, you were sleeping the big sleep, and nothing much mattered to you anymore. All the nastiness was behind you. For the rest of us, the nastiness was still all around us. And if I didn't stop that nastiness from crushing us all under its tentacles, we'd all be sleeping the big sleep. Frankly, I didn't think the afterlife would have enough beds.
Bueno, a ver qué es lo que puedo buscar. Y todo sigue tranquila en la biblioteca.
I had a look through the Necrotelecomnicon discussed for students to see if I could find any more useful information. It wasn't long before I found the phrase that had been inscribed on the wall of the sepulchral temple. Quod nescient eos interficit. It turned out to be the motto of an ancient cult, the dark sect of Nylonapta, whose emblem was the triple-lobed eye. The tome told me a little of the history of the cult. It seems the mad cultists of the Laddering Horror had conspired to destroy all creation, but their attempt failed, obviously, and they were believed to have faded into obscurity. I had a suspicion that's exactly what the cult wanted people to think. According to the book, the cult had a sacred artifact, a source of great power known as the Radiant Trapezohedron, which could destroy Nylonathotep or give him dominion over all things, if it fell into his tentacles. There was no description of it, although the author seemed to think it was something small. There was something about a cult plotting to destroy all creation that disturbed me. I had a feeling you couldn't reason with that.
Bueno, estuve averiguando por todas partes y no los quiero aburrir, así que vamos a visitar a Leonardo y a Dos Castaños. Y acá veo que sigue igual la cosa.
When I went back to Leonard's cell, it was lacking a large part of the wall.
Opa.
This quake must have taken its toll on the palace. Leonard and two conkers were still working on the flaming wing
Obvio.
device like nothing had happened. Just a few more questions, if you wouldn't mind. Have you heard of the Radiant Trapezohedron?
What is this being?
Well, I don't really know. It's a source of great power. That's the only thing I'm sure about.
What is being a trapezohedron to mean? It's a type of crystal in which all the faces are trapeziums.
And a trapezium? A type of quadrilateral with no parallel sides.
No, that's a trapezoid.
No, a trapezoid has two parallel sides of different lengths.
That's a trapezium.
No, it's not.
Where are your family from anywhere near Genua?
My grandfather was. What's that got to do with anything?
Genuine geometry has slightly different definitions to Ephebian geometry. I tend to go by Legibus's definitions in his geometries. Have you read it?
This trapezohedron. Trapezohedron. All sides would be consisting of squashed squares.
Well, that's a slightly crude summary, but essentially correct.
That's it. That's the jewel I am being seeking. Really? Much yesness. Just like that is being, but with gold platings. And you were looking for this, right? How close were you to finding it?
I am of some sureness that it is to being in Ankh-Morpork, and I am of the believing that this arrangement of stars is of great importantude in its discoverage.
Can I see that?
Please, take if you wish. I am not to be having much chances to look myself now. I would be of delighted nature if you would continue the looking for me.
Ah, bien. Bueno, gracias. Nos vamos de acá. Ah, pará, tenía el amuleto de Kondo, así que, ¿qué tal si vuelvo al templo de los dioses menores para hablar con él? Pero qué lástima que no esté mal eclipse.
This amulet is the mark of that entity that you and your cult summoned. I found it on Kondo's body. Does it mean anything to you?
It means that Kondo is a traitor. He won't be the only one. They all hate me.
Kondo wasn't a follower of Anu Anu at all. He worships the Laddering Horror. I think he might have been mad.
Madness. Yes. Sweet singing in my ears.
Seems to be fashionable at the moment. Now listen to me. I need to know who else might have been a double agent.
Who? Who? I'll tell you who. They all hated me. Especially Foyd.
Foyd? The troll?
Yes.
Ah, fue del troll.
I never liked him. I don't trust trolls. Where is he now? How would I know? He wouldn't tell me. He never liked me. Nobody liked me. Did he say anything to you? He said he was going to change his identity, make a run for it. Such a coward. Stupid troll. What about the rest of the cult? Where can I find them? It's too late for everyone. Nothing can save us now. Where's your faith? Don't you believe that Anu Anu is the god of gods? No. I renounce my faith. Anu Anu betrayed me. He betrayed me!
Ah, ¿qué le pasa ahora a este?
Mooncat jumped screaming through the stained glass window and began to climb the temple. I could hear Mooncat ranting as he climbed up the outside of the temple. I give my faith to one God, and it brings about the destruction of everything. To nothing but trouble. You can't trust them. You can't trust them. We don't need them. They need us more than we need them. I'm letting atheism into my heart as my savior. I am a born-again atheist.
Ah,
I renounce all gods.
ah.
Oh, I can't believe I survived that fall.
You didn't.
You're deaf then.
You've heard of me? I'm flattered.
Ah, no salen los subtítulos de la
Did I
muerte.
get hit by lightning just as I renounced all gods?
About 1-to-1, I'd say. You're not the first. Although I think you're the first to do it from the top of their own temple. Full marks for style.
Thank you, I think.
Don't mention it. I try to make the process as enjoyable as possible.
So what happens next?
That depends on you. But you've renounced all the gods, so I doubt you'll be off to any of the heavens. Or hells, for that matter.
Well, what about reincarnation? I always liked the sound of that.
Well, it's not really up to me. But if you do come back, can I advise you to be careful what you say on the top of these monuments?
I'll see what I can do. Do you know, I don't feel so, so dedicated anymore.
Death gives you a whole new perspective on life.
I should never have become a zealot. My mother was right. I should have been a tax collector.
Perhaps in the next lifetime, eh?
Say what you like about Mooncalf. He knew how to put on a show. Unfortunately, he hadn't left me with many leads, although finding Foyd wasn't a bad idea. I had already a lot of practice getting information out of trolls. All I had to do was work out where he was.
Bueno, luego de revisar por todos los lugares, nos queda el tercer de Rodan. Bien, aquí está Rodan. Ahora, por antes. ¡Opa! Hay que ver algo. Ahora hablar con Rodan.
You're back.
Back? Had I gone somewhere?
Here we go again.
Bueno, libreta. Foyd.
I'm looking for someone named Foyd. Do you know them?
Foyd. Foyd. No, I don't remember that name.
He's a troll.
No. Definitely haven't seen any trolls.
Yes, you have. Malachite was staying here.
Oh. Yes. Well, no trolls apart from Malachite.
Rodan was hiding something. But what? You dropped these over by Malachite's spot.
Oh, did I? Thank you. What are they?
They're bandages. Only the funny thing is, they're covered in plaster.
Really?
I suppose you were making some kind of modification to one of your statues.
Yes, that's right.
Only the funny thing is, none of the statues have changed. Perhaps you could explain that. Shall I tell you what I think? I think you're operating as an illegal plastic-surgeon for trolls on the lam. Half-inch on the nose here, a bit extra on the chin. Even their own mother wouldn't know them, eh?
But I never do anything illegal, honestly.
Don't worry, I'm not going to turn you over to the watch. I just want some information.
Information?
Yeah. I know that you're not the best person to come to for information, given your memory.
Yes, that's what makes me a good plaster surgeon. I can never remember who my patients are.
Do you work here?
Not usually. No. I usually work wherever they need me.
But you had to do Malachite here because he didn't have anywhere to go.
Malachite. Malachite.
Oh, come on. He was right here in the workshop.
Oh, that troll. Yes, I did him.
That's what I thought.
Bueno, calculo que ahora sí se acordará de Foide, ¿no?
Did you work on a troll named Foyd?
Ahí sí.
Foyd.
All right, I can't give you a description. All trolls look the same to me. But if you worked on him, it'd have been recently. Have you worked on a troll in the last day or so?
Yes, I worked on someone down by the river recently.
A street name would be nice.
I'm really hopeless with names.
How do you find people's houses?
I'm really good at taking directions.
Well, where was this troll that you worked on?
You walk to the river arc, turn right, and then take the 3rd street on the right. It's opposite an abandoned shop.
An abandoned shop? Thanks. I think I can find that.
Al fin nos dijo algo. ¿Hay irnos de acá?
I guess you better get back to your work.
Sí, mientras se viene abajo en la ciudad. Bueno, gente, hasta acá ha sido por el gameplay de hoy. Vaya, se han pasado cosas. Me pregunto cuánto más le quedará a este juego, pero bueno, nos quedará averiguarlo el siguiente video. Por el momento es todo por ahora. Muchas gracias por estar ahí. Fortunatas y fortuneros. Nos estamos viendo la próxima. Adiós.